So I sold 4 programs for $3,000. So
Okay.
that's $12,000, and I sold for $1,000 a month ongoing. So what's that? That's 48,000,
Okay.
and then I sold about another $50,000 of my CFO outsourced CFO services. So I think all up it was over 100,000.
That's incredible. Hey there, Peter Scott here from Fearless Coach Academy, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my students and friends, Neil Livingstone, who started our coaching program about a month ago. Neil, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
right.
about a little bit over a month ago. And so today I want to just ask you some questions and highlight the journey that you've been on. I know it's only been about a month, but I want to kind of ask some questions about your business, what you reached out to get support on, the things that you implemented, and the results that you got over these last few weeks. Okay. So why don't we start by just having you introduce yourself? If you don't mind just sharing who your niche is, what kind of clients you coach, and specifically the problems that you help them solve.
Yeah, sure. So I run a business called CFO Advisory. So I provide outsourced CFO services, and I've been doing that now for 15 years. And that is a one-to-one, face-to-face service. And I'm looking to move that into a more scalable model where I'm doing, the one-to-many, and that's why I'm working with Peter.
Okay, very cool. So leveraging from, or kind of pivoting from one-on-one, face-to-face to more leverage group coaching. And yeah, you've got a ton of experience behind you. So it's always amazing to see just you getting clients, because I know the value that they're getting from that. So if we go back to when you and I first met, when we first connected, where was your business at? So I know you've been doing this for a while, but where was the business at when we started, in terms of like the number of clients that you're working with, the income that you're earning, back when you started about a month ago?
Sure. So I have about 15 clients at any one time, and I earn about 550,000 a year.
Yep. Okay. So 15 clients, about 550,000 a year. And
Yep.
those are mostly the one-on-one clients. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all one-on-one. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, and all of them are based in Sydney, Australia.
Okay. And then when you think about us starting, what was the biggest challenge? Like, what led you to reach out for support in the first place? Because, having a business with 15 clients, 550,000, some people may watch this and go, what's the problem, right? But for you, what was that challenge that you wanted to solve?
Look, there is no real problem. I love what I do, but I can't scale my business beyond, what it currently is. I only have X amount of hours in the week to provide my services, and I want to really reach more people than I'm and help more people than I'm currently helping. And the only way I can do that is to convert my business into a more scalable model, and reach more people.
Okay. Yeah. So it's about the model, right? And so the person watching this, I want you to take away, you can build a very successful business, right? Just doing one-on-one. However, you'll hit a ceiling. And I think, Neil, that's where you're at, right? You can continue to take on more clients if you wanted to, but it would kind of creep into your quality of life, your own freedom at a certain point. And
Yeah,
so,
that's right. I've hit the ceiling.
yeah, hit the ceiling, totally. So we got to think about what's the different model in terms of generating leads, in terms of enrolling clients, and then ultimately in terms of delivering your coaching. And it's actually similar to where I was when I was doing only one-on-one. I had 18 clients, so I was right around where you were. And the only way I could get a new client was by taking time away from my family, or by doing less of the things that I love, like hiking and surfing and golfing. So yeah, I understand the motivation tremendously. When you reached out for support, what were some of your biggest concerns or hesitations in working with a business coach to help you with shifting the model of your business?
My number one concern was the message that I wanted to go out with. I wasn't clear on that. I needed to make sure that, you know, I was very focused in selecting the niche, and the niche I've actually selected is different to the one that I'm currently in. So I'm making a transition there, and you know, I wasn't sure that I had the messaging right and there was an audience there for me. So I really needed someone to help me with that.
Yeah. And just so people watching this who may want to reach out to you after, who is the new niche that you're working with, and what are you helping them with?
So my clients are the same clients, they're business owners,
Yeah.
but I'm helping them with a different problem. So what I'm going to be doing is helping business owners that struggle to surround themselves with a really good team of people, build a 5-star team in 90 days.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So it's interesting because, like, right now we're talking about shifting the model for you to create more freedom, right? To impact more clients and obviously earn more income. And with your business, team is one of the ways to do that, right? Helping people not only attract that 5-star team, but retain them, to keep them, to train them up to be as best as they possibly can be. So
That's
I love it. I love it. What are 1, 2, or 3 things that you learned inside of Fearless Coach Academy? And I know it hasn't been long; it's only been a little over a month. But what are a couple things that you learned that that you applied that have actually made a positive impact on the business?
Well, it's only been a month, Peter, but I've learned a lot. I mean, the lessons that you have in your portal are incredibly detailed, and you've got a lot of supporting tools and there as well that really challenged my thinking. I know when you do your lessons, you say at various points, stop and do it. And I did that. I actually stopped and I did it. And it really was challenging in terms of my thinking. And it really helped me do exactly what I said before, which was get my messaging right, to make sure that it really is a powerful message that draws people in. And then the other thing that's been really helpful is then converting that into, you know, some digital assets that I can then go out and, you know, promote that with. So last night I've recorded my webinar for the first time.
Wow, awesome.
And I probably you know need to improve on it, but that's super exciting. You know, I've got a couple of, you know, digital assets now and videos and other things, and I'm almost ready to go. So it's super exciting.
I love it. Yeah. So talk about somebody who's quick to implement. This is something I always look for a student in Fearless Coach Academy, is that speed of implementation. And you know, this, Neil, is so critical to success, right? It's often not that we take the right action. It just means that at the end of the day, we got to take action, period. And the faster you do that, the faster you can learn what works, what doesn't, and course correct if you need to. And within the first month, you not only built the lead magnet and the lead magnet funnel, but I didn't realize this, you've recorded your webinar already. And of course, like the first version of anything, it can always get better over time. But to just ship the first version and get it out there is really, really important. I remember thinking back to my first webinar, and it was not great at all. And I disciplined myself to do that webinar. I recorded it, but I did it live, like every Thursday for, I think it was like 8 to 10 weeks. And it felt repetitive, but it got that repetition that I needed to really hone that and make it even better. So you've got some of these assets. I also believe you did one of our strategies, and this is less about online marketing. This is more about just leveraging your warm network. But I think you were doing some market research calls that turned out to work out really well for you. Is that right?
Yeah. So I've never. So one of the first things that you said to me, which is not one of the first things that you normally do in the course, but you said, you know, given where you are, Neil, I think you should do some market research calls. And you gave me a script and a list of questions. And I've got to be honest with you, when I looked at the questions, I went, man, some of these questions I don't feel comfortable asking. But I trusted you, and I think I booked 30. So I went out to my network and booked 30 of these calls. They usually take about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're really quite deep questions. And what I didn't realize is the impact that this would have on the people I was doing it with. They really enjoyed the process and the questions, and the amount of times that they actually said, "Neil, that's a really good question," and it really got them thinking, and it really drove their interest, because I didn't tell them why I was doing it other than I was going to market with a new product.
Yeah.
So by the end of the questions, they were really interested in what I was doing, and I would explain it to them, and actually 4 of them said, I want to sign up to your new program straight away. And this wasn't a sales call; it was as you know, just trying to make sure that you've got the right messaging to the audience that you're going out to. And then I also mentioned that I was doing another follow-on product, and they bought that as well. So I sold 4 programs twice, and then one of my old clients said, I need to re-engage your CFO services. So it was really successful, and also I learned a lot and confirmed that I was heading in the right direction with what I was doing.
That's incredible. So what were, with those 4 or 5 new clients, what sort of revenue was generated in the business?
So I sold 4 programs for $3,000. So that's $12,000, and I sold for $1,000 a month ongoing. So what's that? That's 48,000.
Okay.
And then I sold about another $50,000 of my outsourced CFO services. So I think all up it was over 100,000.
That's incredible. That is awesome. And again, that speaks volumes, Neil, to you doing the work and implementing, even when it felt uncomfortable. So thank you, first of all, for trusting me in that process, because I know some of those questions are uncomfortable. And that's the hidden benefit to market research calls, right? So if any of you have a network like Neil, you have established credibility in an industry, market research interviews not only help you gain that valuable market research to hone your messaging, but it often leads to clients, either those people that you interview who want to work with you directly, or even referrals from that. So $100,000 is pretty awesome that's generated from that one thing. Really, really happy to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure. So you've been in Fearless Coach for a month now. I know it's still early. There's still a lot more to do to scale. But at this point, I feel like you've been in long enough to know who it would benefit. Who do you think who would you recommend Fearless Coach Academy to? Other coaches or consultants, anyone that you would describe that you would, not specifically like names, but you know what I mean? What kind of person would you recommend our program to?
Yeah, like you just said, any consultant or coach, it doesn't really matter what niche that they're in. They want to make sure that their messaging and their audience is spot on, and they want the support pretty much step by step to go from creation of idea to actually having a product and launching it. This is the program for you. I think it's fantastic. It really is a plug and play, step by step process.
Thank you, Neil. And oftentimes, and I know I feel this, right? Whenever you're working with a new mentor or a coach, there's oftentimes hesitancy or resistance. And I'm just curious what you would say to somebody who may be watching this, who knows they need to work with a business coach. They need more structure because they're not getting the results on their own, but they may be afraid of the investment or the commitment or the work involved. Is there anything that you would say to them?
Well, when you're choosing, a coach, it's really important to make sure that coach has got a track record. And Peter and his team have been doing this now for a long time. They have a great track record. The product that you've put an amazing, I just can't even imagine how much time you put together, was spent putting all the different lessons that I haven't even been through half the lessons yet, but there's a lot of content there, and you really have laid it out step by step. So I think you tick all the boxes for what people are looking for in a coach.
Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. Neil, thanks for taking the time. I know you're super busy as we're scaling your coaching business. I appreciate who you are, the experience that you have, the willingness for you to take action. For those watching this who may want to connect with you, who may be interested in your services, where could they go to connect with you?
Yeah, they can go to my LinkedIn profile is the best place to contact me and send me a message.
Okay. And that's just Neil Livingstone, right?
That's right.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, guys, I encourage you to connect with Neil, very successful coach here. If any of you watching this are interested in getting your coaching business off the ground, helping you scale your coaching business specifically with what we do around lead generation and client enrollment, then I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm happy to have a complimentary 15-minute brainstorm call with me or my team where we can take a look at your niche and your price point and your offer, and similarly see what's possible for you in your coaching business and actually lay out a plan to do that. Okay. And really develop kind of a 3-step plan for growing. So if you are interested in that, if you're watching the live here inside the Facebook group, then just comment interested below, or just send me a private message. If you're watching the recording of this video on our page, it's probably easiest to just scroll below this video and pick a day and a time on our calendar where you can book in your complimentary 15-minute brainstorm call. So Neil, thank you again for the time. I really appreciate you. And I can't wait to see what happens in the next 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No problem.
You're welcome. See you soon.
See ya.